So welcome to Starry Gold Academy, my people. Welcome to the live class that you've been waiting for. As informed in your timetable, advanced audit and assurance is stated for 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. So here is now, and I believe this should be your the last live class they're having for professional level. So from Starry Gold yeah, I welcome everybody on board. Good afternoon for the Christians that went to church. Our service today. For the Muslims, how are you doing today? For some of us that are different things to do today, I welcome you on board and welcome to Starry Gold Academy. The long anticipated advanced audit and assurance live class starting by 2 p.m. is on. So inform your friends, inform everybody that needs to be here. If you have a friend, an associate, a colleague that needs to be part of advanced audit and assurance live class, come and share the link with them. Just have the link, it's free. Let them participate. In the next for 2 hours we'll go done, and it's going to be a great time because I'll be dispensing some information that will be of advantage to you. So don't let this period pass you by. We at our Life Good Academy, we are very passionate about your success. We want you to succeed. Don't just succeed try to succeed with stress, but succeed gallantly. Have a good success and make us proud because we want to be part of a success, and this is why we are having one of these things. Of course, I prefer now you've taken time to. I believe most of us are taking time to acquire the video lecture, and we've taken our time to watch through the video lecture as regards advanced audit. And Ashan, I believe that we've been able to build competence, we've been able to build your knowledge capacity as regards advanced audit and assurance, and also during your time in acquiring knowledge, you were able to participate in the free Telegram class that we do organize for our students. So we do this regularly so that to help them put them on check, get feedback from our students, and provide solutions to them. We have an access to talk with our lecturers and doing that, and that has been worthwhile so far for you if you can attest to that. Now this part. So one of the last thing we do regularly for every diet is to have a live class. Live class, the game is just to share with you information, give you guidelines that will be of importance to you. You know how we are going to solve your question, how you're going to put you in good check, what you need to do for your exam, what you need to do after your exam, and how you can prepare yourself during your exam. So let's go. Please inform Tunde, inform Bashira, inform Kunle, inform Netunde to be here. Connect them and let's go. So I would love to know where you're connecting from. I'm live from Lagos, Nigeria. Lagos, if you're in Lagos, say hi. So let me know you're connecting from Lagos, Nigeria. But let's have others. Let me have your name as well. I would love to acknowledge you in the comment box. Please do that. Let me know where you're connecting from so that I can acknowledge you. Please. So just tell me your name. Tell me your name and your location. Let me know your name. So please, so if you are not here, please just share the link with them. Call them. Send them an SMS that live class started. Though, let's come and be on board because it's going to be a great time with me. So let's write live class for November 2021 diet. Yeah. So welcome to the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. And very soon we'll become a member of the ICAN. You come and the member will be classified as an ACA. So welcome to ICAN, Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, professional level, advanced audit and assurance, November 2021 diet live class. So let's move. Yeah, so generally we will be starting this part by giving you general examination tips that will be useful to you for your exam. So just bear with me. Some of us would have known this thing because none of us this is not our first time attending live class, but this might be quite different from the ones you still listen to because community development so that we would love to share with you, and when I get to that part I will disclose that part to you. So I welcome everyone once again to live class. We are live from Lagos, Nigeria, and let me know your name. Let me your name and location, so I can acknowledge you and also give you a virtual or say a virtual hi to you, or give you a virtual high five, or even want I-10. I have my I-10 active and I'll give it to you. So welcome aboard. Just tell me your name and your location, so I can acknowledge you. All right. So let's move now. Question item one, not question one. Sorry for that. Question item one. Make sure you get to the exam or 30 minutes before the exam starts and identify your seat as if possible. So, my fellow students, a professional student. I know you've gotten to pick of the ICAN. This is your third. This is your third. This is the last level ICAN exam, and you've been able to gather professionalism, and which is another advantage to you. Many of us have gone through skills level, when some of us started from ATS, some of us started from foundation level, and we've been able to build competence. So I would love to been able to build competence. I know you know the efficacy. Most of us that those of us that attend live class. Okay. I'm just going through the comment section right now. Mosnola from Ibadan, you're welcome. I can see you. We're welcome to Starry Gold live class. Taiwo, you're welcome. Rotimi Olatunji from Lagos, you are welcome. You are welcome. Tayo from Lagos, you are welcome. Taiwo Olabi, Tayo from Lagos, so you are welcome. Taiwo Olabi from Magbo in Ogun State, you are welcome. You are doing well. We again, Gideon from Jaws. How you doing, Gideon? You are welcome to Starry Gold Academy. Welcome on board. I'm excited to have you on board. I'm so thrilled that I'll be having you great minds and to be sharing with you information and important tips that will be of importance to them as they prepare for their exam. So let's move. So now I said get to the exam very early. Get to your exam at most 30 minutes for your exam. Of course, you know that the maximum time they will allow you to enter the exam, or if you come late is 30 minutes. So if you come home, if you get to the exam or 30 minutes after the exam has started, after 30 minutes, you won't be allowed to partake in the ongoing exam. So my student, professional students, your professionals already in Embarrass, because our advanced audit is going to be an exam that you work smart, and by God's grace when the result come out, we'll be ready to celebrate you on our platform and say congratulations to you. So now get to the exam. This is important. These things might sound a bit they might sound inconsequential, but they are very pivotal in helping you prepare well in your exam in your exam as you enter the exam. So once you get to the, of course, you've known that for all the exam you did in skills, getting the exam well. I know we are on different locations, you are different states. Getting to the exam more early is really important for you. And if you get to the exam more very early, you'll be able to locate your seat. Locate your seat as possible. Locate your seat as soon as possible. Then you can chill out. You try to adapt yourself with the environment. You can walk around. You can take time to go and find something to do a lot of reflection. Do for maybe little reading for some for some of you that would want to still do some reading and do some reflection of what you've read, and maybe bring yourself to remembrance of some things you've read. You can take that time and do that. So I always advise you getting to the exam or gives you an added advantage, gives you a competitive advantage before the exam start, because you would have been able to do your due diligence by getting to know your seat number, getting to know the route that will lead to that area. Once they've requested that everybody should start and should enter the exam hall. So aside of that, when you get to the exam all very early, your mental state is always calm, especially if you don't go through stress coming from that place. So ensure that if your location is quite far, it's your last stage exam, you need to pay the price. If required that you went an hotel, you stay in an hotel rather, or you went a short let, or you stay in a cousin that has a close proximity to the location of the exam, it's to your own advantage, because if you get to the exam, it will be easier. It will be to your advantage. You will undergo less stress if your where you stay is closer to the exam, or to someone that stays very far. So I'm not saying you should the most, but if you can plan yourself, you know where you stay. It's you have to come for that place. You can beat your traffic, or you can get to the exam or at least 30 minutes or at most 1 hour before the exam starts. It's fine. Just ensure that you don't take risks that will cause you to come and you sit for the exam, maybe because you didn't leave your home very early, or you didn't foresee some foreseen circumstance that could arise if you leave home by so time. So plan yourself. If it's the one that you leave, get to the exam or 1 hour late, 1 hour very early. Get there. If you require you get to the exam or 1 hour 30 minutes early. get there. If you require get the exam hall 2 hours early, get there. It's to your own advantage. And whenever you get to the exam hall, please be focused. When you get to the before the exam start, be focused. Don't try to look around, don't try to hang around, trying to while away time. No, that time is precious to you. All those time is precious. I remember there was a time I got to the exam very early, and there was a part I read. There was a question. And there was a part I was trying to read because I didn't have time to call the syllabus. And I remember there's a part I read, not even in advanced or it's in different. I think I was in advanced tax. So I didn't have time to call out syllabus, and there was a part I was just reading that part. I had time. I came to the exam at least an hour before the exam starts. My exam was stated in the afternoon, and I tried to read and other stuff, and that part I just read that part. And fortunately for me, when I saw my question, that was the question that was the question. I saw that question live in the question. So me, that was the first question I first answered because I was so thrilled that this question, this what I just read 15 or 30 minutes ago was being tested. So, and this, if I had not come to the exam of very early, I might not have come in contact with that. I might have come in contact with that, but I might not be able to do that because I go to the exam of very early and I was able to relax myself and find a good spot to sit. So I'm admonishing you this afternoon as professionals that it is to your own advantage if you take your time to beat traffic and come to the exam as early as possible. So okay. So if you're just joining us, you're welcome to Starry Gold Academy. Please let me know where you're connecting from. Just tell me your name. Me, I'm live from Lagos. Lagos, Echo, Lagos. Let me know where you're connecting from so that I can say hi to you and give you a virtual high five from my place. So the first point I made mention was the fact that you need to get to the exam of very early. Now the next part is that once you get to the exam hall, don't panic, as that will increase your level of anxiety, thereby making you easily forget what you already know. So professional students, when we get to exams or we tend to have different state of mind because we are ready to be tested. Some of us might start entertaining fear, might start feeling uncomfortable. Some of us might even have to go to the toilet like 2 or 3 times because exam is about to start. Some of us will just try to just we feel uncomfortable. We might feel some breeze. Some of us start to have goosebumps. Do you get that now? But your ability to control your mental state at that point is going to give you an advantage once you enter the exam hall. Why? Because your mental state, what you need, where you the part that you need the information from your brain. And for the past 4, 5 months, 6 months, you've taken time to be storing your brain. You've been storing data into your medulla oblongata. You've been storing data into your brain so that you would be able to perform well and do a good job in your exam. Are you with me, my students? So having said all this, once you get to your exam hall, don't give room for panic to grip you. No, be fine. Ensure that you are in an environment that gives you make you to be cool. If it requires that you take water, get bottled water, take it, sip it, take a drink. If you take a drink that will make you feel relaxed, take it. Even that boils down to you understanding your body system. So if you require that you just eat, so if you require that you listen to music, to soft music that will make you feel relaxed, make you feel calm, that will boost you. If you require that you listen to motivational speech, that will give you vibes, that will give you momentum to start your exam, that would make you feel you are enough. If there's need for you to talk to somebody that would encourage you, that would inspire you, all these things are important. They are things that would light up that confidence in you. Do you get that? And so don't entertain panic. If panic come, find ways you can triggers that you can use to debar it from entering your system. So having said that, next one is that if you are giving any question to exam, so if you are giving a exam question paper, the first thing you should do is read carefully the instruction to have a better understanding of what you are required to do. So my professional students, first audit can be tricky. You have to take your time. You don't have to just jump into question. It's not a calculation question. Of course, there might be some part that there might be some calculation that would require you to do one or two things. But my student, if you have been served your exam question paper, that's why I can provide you 15 minutes to read through. Take your time and read through. Comprehend, have an idea of what you've been asked to do. Just go through the question. Don't just start solving because of time. No. Understand what you are going to before you start running. Don't run without having don't run without a destination in mind. Have an idea of where you're running to, so that once you start running, you know this is where I'm running to. You know that you're running to you're supposed to go to Abuja. You now start going through the road that will lead you to Bayelsa. It's a two different things. So if you understand what you've been asked to do, you will not tackle it. You know the tool you're going to use. You know how to respond to it, and it will put you in a good stand for your exam. Are you with me, my students? All right. So let's move now. Question 4. Okay, sorry. Question 4 again. No, I meant item 4. If you come across any question you don't understand, don't be scared and start wasting your time on the question. Don't start with the questions first. Just go ahead answering the ones you already understand, and then come back to the tough ones later. So my students, of course, if you have been served questions, don't be in a rush to go and start solving questions. Ensure you start with the ones you know first. Ensure you do what? Ensure you start with those ones you know first, so that you can adequately answer them in a professional way. Don't be in a rush. Don't be in a hurry to just start solving questions. Don't just so you don't just jump into it like that. Are you with me? See how you can take your time. See how you can sort these things out carefully. So you can sort them carefully and rank the questions. Okay, let me just give you a practical analysis of what I've been saying so far. So are you with me? Yeah, let's go. So let's assume, of course, your question you have 6 questions you'll be answering. You have 6 questions. Question 1, question 2, question 3, question 4, question 5, and question 6. You have to pick 4 questions. Question 1 is a compulsory question, so you can't negotiate that at all. So now no question 3. Okay, question 1, you are doing question 1. So but you don't know question 1 that much. Well, like I'm 50%. I'm not really sure, but let me just rank it based on my level at which I'm going to perform. Let me give it 50%. I'm going to perform at 50% capacity. Now, question 3. I know question 3 very, very well. I've read, I'm really good at it, and if I start with this, I'm going to give a first good impression. So I ranked it that I'm 95%. I know this 95%. I'm going to perform well. If I start question 3, I know it very, very well. So I give it 95%. Now question 4 is a no go from. I don't even know it at all. I know 5 and I know 6. So but I know 5 more than 6. The way I know 5, if I give myself, if I'm to rank it, I'm going to give myself 60%, and 5, I'm going to give myself a 40%. I'm question 6 now. So what you're trying to let you say is that now since you know question theory, and you know question 1, you answer question 1, 3, 5, 6. So if you want to pick your question, so you start with question. Since question 3, you know question 3 very well. We are saying start with question. I don't want to start with question 6 because you don't know it. Start with your strengths and then with your weaknesses. Now, you answer question 1. Question 3 will be your first question that you'll be answering. Then the other one, question 5 is question 5 takes 60% of what I've been doing. So question 5 that comes second. Okay. Yeah, so looking at the question 1 comes third because it has 50%. It's been ranked with 50%. Then I answer question 1 as number 3 question. Third, why question 6 will be my last question. So ending it with question 6, my 4th question. So starting with question 1 is going to give you a good first impression to your examiner. So you're starting with the area that you are good at. So that is what we're trying to explain to you, that in writing your exam, you must be able to start with something you are really, really good at, so that You will not go and start something you're not good at. And if I to rank, do the other way around. Someone that starts with question 4, someone that starts with question 6 rather, might not be able to fully attract to him or herself the whole marks that are embedded in question 4, because is not starting with what he or she knows well. But someone that starts with question 3 because he or she is really good at it, is really good at it, and person did a good job, and will be able to attract more marks, and that will give you a good first impression, and that will sell a good perception about you to your examiner. Now, someone has also joined us. Someone has joined us again. I'm all the way from Ogun State. Timothy, you are welcome. I excite you from here. Just having a great day. You are welcome on board. Now let's move on to the next question. So we are done with question 4. So I've been able to explain to you how you can tackle that, how you can do that, how you can rank that, and I believe that's what some of us do. And for some of us that has not been doing that, please start improvise this. And I tell you, it will go a long way in helping you have a good success as your exam as your exam approaches. Now the next item 5 is that, okay, 5 months apart. Let's quickly recap of what I've said so far. At the first part, I said ensure you get to the exam or 30 minutes before the exam and identify your seat if possible. I then said that once you get to the exam hall, don't panic, as that will increase your level of anxiety, thereby making you easily forget what you already know. 3. If you are giving the exam question paper, the first thing you should do is read carefully the instruction to have a better understanding of what you are required to do. And 4, I now therefore say that if you come across any question that you don't understand, don't be scared and start wasting time on the question. Don't start with those questions first. Just go ahead answering the ones you already understand, and then come back to the tough ones later. Yeah, so later. Then the item 5 now says make sure that you conclude and round up your work at least 30 minutes before the scheduled time, so that you can cross-check your work properly. So this boils down to ability to manage your time. If you manage your time very well, you'll be able to do a great job as regards that part. So having time to review what you've done is really, really important to you, because you'll be able to fish out some grammatical errors you made while answering the question. There might be some words you didn't put together. There might be some phrases you didn't use well. There might be some words that was even wrongly spelled. But because you didn't review them, it won't help you communicate what you have in mind. Or the recipient, which is the examiner or the marker of your script, will not really have a full understanding of what you have stated there, because there was grammatical error and some of your words were wrongly spelled. Are you with me? So having said this, I would want to let you know that you can do more than what you are doing, but ensure that time management is key. Your ability to manage your time will help you do well in your exam. Now let's move to the next part. Now, having shared with you the general examination tips, there are some other important things which is additional tip that I would also want to let you know about. Basic readiness. Get your biro, ruler, exam docket, and calculator. Now, to do well as a professional student, of course, you can't go enter your exam hall without these things I've mentioned to you. But you can, okay, but you need a pen. You can enter better, but you will need them. Now, I want to lay emphasis on calculator. You might as well advance audit. It's more of theory, and I can tell that they might want to test numbers. They might want to give you they might want you to give an analytical review or give a report based on the financial statement that has been provided to you. But you cannot do these things without understanding what you need to do. So my students, I'm telling you right now that it's better for you to go with calculator than leave your calculator aside and not going with anything. So it's better you get to the calculator and you don't use it, and you get in the exam. It's better you get to the exam or and you didn't use your calculator than not going with the exam or not going with it, and you get to the exam and you discover that you will need calculator. That is going to affect you, because you know that you have to do some numbers, and there's a limit to how you can add some things offhand, because you might not get them. Even if you try to do it manually, you're going to waste a lot of time. Especially if you're adding up, if you're preparing a final account and I told people use a final account, you're trying to prepare some information as regards that, or if you're trying to prepare financial ratios, that some figures might not be able to get manually. So whereas I'm telling you that just go along with it, and it will help you do well the exam. Now, be mentally, emotionally, and psychologically ready. Sleep well, Don't overstress yourself. Now, as your exam get closer, sure you do all these things because they're really, really important to you. Sleeping well is an important aspect and don't let it pass you by. And as the exam get closer, take your time, ensure that your mental health is a priority. Ensure that your mental health is a priority. Don't allow anything affect how you're going to perform. Don't allow anything stop you from flying. Do you get that now? So as you write your as your exam gets closer. All right, I believe you are still with me. All right, okay, can you hear me now? All right, so let's continue. So so yeah, so sleep well, ensure that you are very, very good, okay. And that should not hamper your level of performance and should not allow you to um you should not overstress yourself because your brain would be tested. Your brain will be tested for your exam. Your brain will be tested for the exam, and you need your brain as your exam gets closer. So don't allow anything affect your preparation. And I tell you that they're important. They're really, really important. That the state of your brain is really, really important. If you're going to fly high in your exam, so don't accumulate stress because most of us lately we have been accumulating stress, and that will not be good for us. So take your time and see how you can do well for yourself. Now, the next part is to be 100% focused. Avoid distractions and avoid unnecessary panic and fear. So, my students, as your exam get closer, please don't entertain too much fear. You are good, you are enough. Don't let anything to stop you from thinking. Don't let anything stop you from um doing what you need to do. Gradually, you are welcome. I can see you on board. You are welcome. So don't let anything distract you um from your anchor, which is your exam. So avoid distraction and avoid unnecessary panic and fear. Next item, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Yeah, believing in yourself requires you to be self-confident. Self-confident and be able to um go along with what you've been able to accumulate yourself with. As what that would make me say that what you know is enough to pass the exam. What did I say? Yeah, what you know is enough to pass your exam. So passing your exam is really important to you. And if you're not confident enough, you won't be able to discharge value in the exam. So confidence, because there's some question that might take you off course, and the ability to believe in yourself would go a long way in doing well in your exam. Now, next part, Read carefully all instructions at the top of the examination paper. Read carefully all instructions. Yeah, at the top of it. Yeah, as you guys believe in yourself. Now, well, as professionals, we are all ACAs already. You're a chartered accountant already, and it will be to your advantage when you when you believe in yourself. Do you get that now? Don't let anything take you off course. Believe in yourself, and you're able to do all these things that are important to you. Now, next, read carefully all the instructions at the top of the examination paper. Read carefully all instructions at the top of the examination paper. Read carefully all instructions at the top of the examination paper. So to do this, it is to your own importance, it is to your own advantage when you do all these things that have been said. So every instruction that has been given to you, don't let it go like that. Read them one by one. Take your time and read them carefully because they're important to your success. Now, next one, always start by reading the case study, appendices, and the exam question requirements, taking note of specific demands of the question. Now, of course, some of the questions I'll be given to you might be in case study form. Some of them would have appendix, and it will be to your advantage when you read this case study yourself and when you take your time to go and understand the appendix before tackling the question. Don't just solve the question anyhow. Don't just go anyhow to solve the question. Read the case study, appendix, and the exam questions yourself before you now move forward to do what you need to do. So do by reading the case study, that would be something that would align um and would be able to do what you need to do. Are you with me? So so taking note of the specific demands of the question. So having said this, see how you can activate those things you already know. So by reading the case study, if you've gone through, if I was to be given the question, take your time and see how you can sort it out. Take your time and sort it out. Take your time and sort those things. Now the next part is to reread the question requirement very well to ensure complete understanding of what is required by underlining the key facts of each appendix. Of each appendix. So by going to the question, you'll be able to have an idea of what are required of you. You'll be able to have an idea of what are required of you. So please do that, and that will help you do well in your exam. Now let us start. Before we start, I'd love to talk about time management. Yeah, time management. We all know that your exam is stated for 3 hours and 15 minutes. So 3 hours and 15 minutes. Question we are picking. Let's go back to this axis. Okay, so you have 3 hours, 3 hours and 15 minutes. So you're located. So question one. So you have question. You're picking question one. You're picking question one. Okay, you have question one compulsory. Theory, 5, and 6. So you're located 1 hour for question one. Then you give 35 minutes each. 35 minutes each. 35 minutes each. So total minutes we are allocating to the 4 questions is this is 1 hour, 1 hour, 7. This is 1 hour 10 minutes, 1 hour 45 minutes. So that is 2 hours 45 minutes. 2 hours 45 minutes. So 2 hours 45 minutes. 2 hours 45 minutes is what you are getting, and by getting it, by ascertaining that part, it is to your own advantage. So when you do that, it helps you. You have extra 15 minutes. You also mentioned the fact that you need time to review your question. So ability to use this timing model, ability to use this timing model, this 15-minute timing model will be to your advantage. And by ability to use them, you have 15 minutes to review what you've done. You would have 15 minutes to review what you've done, and it will help you to deliver well in your exam. So let's go ahead, and so please, you can create a model for yourself that will be useful to you. You can also create a model for yourself that would be useful to you. So let's move ahead, and let's start properly. So if you have any question, please let me know so I can attend to them. Questions. So okay, anybody else joining us? So now let us start. Click on share to have a copy of this on your timeline. Click on share to have a copy of this on your timeline. If you're just joining us, you're welcome to the class. Please kindly type hello in the comment box and your location so that I can acknowledge you. Type hello in the comment box so that I can acknowledge so that I can acknowledge you, so that I can acknowledge you. So let's move. If you have any question, please drop them. If you have any question, please drop them in the comment section. Drop them in the comment section and see and I will attend to them. So in regards, let's now present ourselves. In regards to this direct exam, ICAN exam, what are your greatest fears? What are the things that scares you? What are your fears? What are those things that make you feel inadequate? Let us talk. I want to hear them. You can drop them in the comment box so that we can have one-on-one communication. Just drop them. I want to see them. I would well, take them one after the other. So let's talk. What are your greatest fears? Yeah, I would love to hear you out. So I'm taking time. I'm asking, what are your fears? You can drop them in the comment box. Let me review them and react to them. What are your fears? What are those things that make you feel you are not enough? What are your greatest fears? In this first coming exam, what are those things that scares you? What are those things that make you feel not enough? Let's talk. I'm a lecturer. Let's talk about this so I can suggest to you how you can combat that. So what are your fears? What are your fears? What are your fears? All right, so I'm still waiting for you. So drop them on the comment section so I can attend to them. All right, what are your greatest fears? Let's talk about that. Oladipupo for Oladipupo Ayodele from Surulere, Lagos. You are welcome. I see you here. Justina, you are welcome. I can see you. Let me know where you're connecting from. So I'm asking us this afternoon that as regards your exam, what are your greatest fears? What are those things that make you feel inadequate? What are those make you feel they are not enough? Let's talk about that and see how now I'll try to address one or two of them and help you to combat that. So let's talk. What are your greatest fears, my people? Oluwaseyi, so the rule, you are welcome. I can see you. Let me know where you're connecting from. I can see you. Justina, I've cited you already. Gideon, okay, I've cited you. Are welcome. Taiwo, I've seen you already. So let me know your greatest fear. What are your greatest? What are those things that you are afraid of as your exam gets closer, so that we can now move. Once we've done that part, we go to what, see what you can do, and we can do as regards that aspect. So okay, don't forget. So that means we are all ready for exam, and that is awesome. So please don't forget to share this to somebody. Share this and so that you can also invite and person. So click on share to have a copy of this on your timeline. If you are just joining us, you are welcome to the class. Type hello in the comment box and your location so that I can acknowledge you. If you have any question, please drop them in the comment box. In regards to this like that ICAN exam, what are your greatest fears? Can you drop them in the comment box now? And I'll attend to them one after the other. So while I await your fears, we'll study one or two questions as you prepare for your exam. Now, section A, the compulsory mark 30 marks. Question 1. Financial Investigations is an entity specializing in conducting investigations for corporate clients. It employs ex-police officers, security consultants, IT and fraud specialists. Financial Investigations recently dropped its firm of auditors and has approached your firm to undertake the audit. You have been provided with the following information. Financial Investigations is a major service provider to your firm, particularly in the provision of IT and fraud consultancy. Financial Investigations has acrimoniously dropped their previous auditors. Commercial Investigations has acrimoniously dropped their previous auditors and are withholding fees, pending the resolution of a number of issues, in particular relating to their accusation on the competence of the auditors. The national investigation is facing a hostile takeover at present from technical investigation group, a company. You also audit. So required. Explain the impact of each of the three pieces of information provided above and how this would influence your decision to accept the nomination as auditors for financial investigations. So let's provide answer to that. So let's go on to the first scenario. The first scenario it was stated that okay, let's read it. Let's read it over again. Financial investigation is an entity specializing in conducting investigations for corporate clients. It employs ex-police officers, security consultants, IT and fraud specialists, financial investigations recently dropped its firm of auditors and has approached your firm to undertake the audit. You have been provided with the following information. Financial Investigations is a major service provider to your firm, particularly particular particularly in the provision of IT fraud and consultancy. So let's explain the impact of this. So let me just write that out for us. So based on the scenario now, because the scenario is that national investigation is a major service provider to your firm. You get that now. So you understand that there's a relationship between financial service investigation provider to your firm. So particularly in the provision of IT and fraud investigation consultants. So the impact of this based on the first scenario and one, you can just number it one. So you can just say since so we can see that where's my pen? Okay, since financial investigation is a major service provider to our firm. The issue of independence is of great concern, which may not allow us take up the audit. So the dependence clause would be threatened. Now we've done justice to the first organization and the first item. In the second one, let's go ahead and we said the second one now says that financial investigation has acrimoniously dropped their previous auditors and are withholding and are withholding fees pending the resolution of a number of issues, in particular relating to their accusations on the competence of the auditors. So what impact would that have? So based on the second scenario, the following will occur. If the reason of parting ways with the old audit firm is incompetence and there is no independence issue, we can take up the audit and press for the payment of the withheld fees on behalf of the previous auditors. So we've done justice to that. Now, the third scenario, what happened in the third scenario? Commercial investigation is facing a hostile takeover at present from technical investigation group. The company is US audit. So what impact would that have on the audit? Now, based on the third scenario, as the auditors to technical investigation group which is considering taking over financial investigations, it will not be advisable for our firm to take over the audit of financial, since the company is facing a hostile takeover by the technical investigation group, and this could cause conflict of interest. So we've done justice to that. Now, item 2 now says that describes other factors that you would consider in taking a decision as to the acceptance of financial investigations as a client. So the factors to be considered for accepting financial as a client would be so you need to assess whether there are any professional problems attached to accepting engagement. For instance, engaging problems of lack of independence, lack of technical expertise, or conflict of interest. Also, ensuring that resources are available to complete the audit assignment, especially the right number and quality of staff. Also, the need to carry out assessment of the assignment. Also, taking up references on the proposed client, company, and the director if they are already known by the firm. This is also known as client screening. Communicating with the existing auditors to discuss the appointment, the client, and the audit work, establish if there are any matters that we should be aware of when deciding whether or not to accept the appointment. Also, whether a partner or anyone closely connected with a partner has a beneficial interest in commercial. This may be particularly relevant in view of the existing relationship with commercial. So, those are the things. Those are the factors that you need to consider before accepting the nomination as auditors of financial investigations group. So, having said that, the next part is the next question is describe the steps you would take if you decided to accept the nomination as auditors for financial investigation. So yeah. So what they mean here is that you should just describe the steps, not list now. Describe the steps that you would take if you decide to accept the nominations. So the first question is that you have to discuss the factors that will consider in taking to if itemize those factors. Now what they want from you now is to just disclose to them disclose to them those factors, disclose to them the steps that describe other factors that you would consider in taking a decision to accept into to the acceptance of financial investigation by the client. So okay. So let's provide answer to that. So let's describe those steps that we need to take if you decide to accept. So let's decide if steps to be taken, steps to be taken if we have decided to accept the nomination as auditors for financial investigation. So we ascertain that suitable procedures are carried out to ensure that one, the firm would be independent and there will be no conflict of interest. So the firm will be independent, there will not be conflict of interest. It also the firm has the technical competence to do the work. It's also an important thing that we need to do. Let me just read them out. One, the firm will be independent. So it is important. It will be independent. That's an important part. Independent and there will be no conflict. There will be no conflict of interest. So that is about that part. So other include the firm um has technical competence to do the work. Professional clearance has been sought for and obtained from the previous auditors. Appropriate anti-money laundering procedures are performed, that is client identification. Also, data of engagement is sent to the client and duly signed by the appropriate auditor authority. And also, the audit will not impact on the consultancy service relationship already being provided. Alright, now B, they are required to discuss the following five elements of good quality control in a firm of chartered accountants: one, independence; two, personnel management; three, acceptance and continuance of clients; four, engagement, performance; and five, monitoring. So let's start with independence. So as regards independence, let's take the one after the other. Independence. So for an audit to be a value, the auditor must be independent and seen to be independent. This means that the auditor must have independence of mind and independence in appearance. So he or she is not affected by influences or prejudices that compromise his professional judgment. I want to explain that the next part we're going to look at is acceptance and continuance of clients. So personnel management is the next thing I want us to look at to explain. Personnel management. Personnel management. So personnel management. Um this centered on the direction and supervision of staff and review of their work. So those person now it help them do that. As regards the direction of their work, the audit team should be informed of the work that are expected to carry out and the objectives that the work is intended to achieve. Also, there should be a well-prepared audit work program. Staff should be familiar with this overall audit plan. Staff should also understand the responsibilities, nature of the business of the client, the risk-related issues, the audit approach to the performance of the audit, and also so now let's now look at the acceptance and continuance of clients. Acceptance, acceptance and continuance of clients. Okay. Um so it is required that the firm should establish policies and procedures to provide it with reasonable assurance that the firm will only take or continue to work where the firm is. So it's competent to perform the engagement, has the capabilities including the necessary resources to do so, can comply with the relevant ethical requirements, and has considered the integrity of the client and does not have information which would lead to it to conclude that the client lacks some integrity, and is also sure that there will be independence and there are no conflicts of interest. Professional clearance is received from previous auditors in case of new clients, and also engagement performance. So if you have any question, please throw them as time goes on. So as regards acceptance, um so we've done just acceptance and clients and continuance of client. The next one is engagement performance. Engagement performance. Engagement and performance. So policies and procedures are required to include audits that will ensure consistent quality engagement performance, supervision responsibilities, review responsibilities, appropriate consultations takes place on difficult or contentious matters. Sufficient resources are available for such consultation, and the nature, scope, and conclusions of consultation are documented as well. And conclusion arising from the consultation are also implemented. And finally, monitoring. Monitoring. So I believe you understand what we are doing so far. So as regards the segment performance, then the last part is a monitoring. So let's give a review of what monitoring is all about. Now the third question says that we should give reasons why does the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria place much emphasis on the requirement that all member firms put in place a system of quality control. So why do you think they do that? So of course that's ICAN is also plays an important function on that. So why do you think ICAN know that? So what do you think is the answer? Yes. Now what they're trying to let us know is that because so as regards this, each other the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria this is much emphasis on the requirement that all member firms put in place a system of quality control because IFAC to which ICANN belongs requires that members should perform their professional work with due skill and with proper degree of technical competence. To satisfy the professional requirements for due skill, care and technical competence, audit firms need to have a strong system of quality control. Good procedures of quality control reduces the risk of the audit firm to issue an incorrect audit opinion, to sue for negligence and payment of damages, um, to avoid adverse publicity and damage to the reputation of the firm, and avoid loss of clients. Now we've been able to provide professional answer to that part. Now, so I believe you understand what we've been so far. Click on share to have a copy of this on your timeline. Click on share to have a copy of this on your timeline. If you are just joining us, please, if you are just joining us, you are welcome to the class. Kindly type early in the comment box so that I can acknowledge you and where you're commenting from as well. So, in regards to this exam, okay, if you have any question, please drop them in the comment box. If you have any question, drop them in the comment box. Okay, some people have just joined us. Okay. All right. So I'm not going to comment box and okay. If I've in regards to this exact exam, what are your greatest fears? Can you drop them in the comment box? So okay, someone said that I'm not having enough time to cover all those areas effectively in the school. Yes. So as regards that, but there's this gap there's this feeling that I must cover all I can syllabus. I will let me tell you that during my career journey, my journey to become a chartered accountant, there's no part I covered from beginning to the end. No, there's no one. There's no one. So it's not about covering the syllabus. It is a norm. It is a norm that you don't have time to cover all the syllabus. Yes, because you might be working and you might have other things to do. So the fear of not covering your syllabus, don't let it grip you because there is more you can do. I don't know if you understand. And those ones like I said while I was sharing the general examinations, I told you that and what you know is enough for you to pass your exam. So you feel that you've not covered those levels. It's not really about that. I shared with you that If you observe trend analysis, if you observe the past questions, you know areas to focus more on. If I can test you on last night, there's a question that there's some areas that I can will not test again because it has been tested last night. So your ability to take time to and work along with the past questions that has been tested so far will put you in a good pedestal for your exam. So don't that feeling that you're not enough because you don't cover the whole syllabus, get it off you because it is a normal thing. When I did my CL, my advanced audit and tax, my advanced audit, my corporate reporting, my SFM, I didn't cover the there's not even it's even in the professional stage, I didn't cover most syllabus more. Even in skills, I covered more syllabus than that's of professional stage. Do you get that now? And so don't let it grip you with the normal, but ensure that at least you cover more than 50% of the syllabus. So those areas they've tested, you don't have to pay more attention on that, but have an idea about that. But the areas you've not tested, you can pay more attention on that. So not just cancel that feeling. It's a normal, it is a norm. Now don't cancel it. It is a norm to feel that you've not covered it's a norm not to cover those syllabus. Yes. It's not about covering the syllabus, it's about your smartness and God's grace. So I'm not trying to sell I'm not trying to sell laziness. I'm not letting you know that covering the syllabus, not covering the syllabus is not a guarantee that not that you won't pass the exam. So most people that pass the exam, if you ask them carefully, many of them don't cover the whole syllabus because you are doing a lot of courses. You get that now. So someone also said that the greatest fear you can't finish the syllabus before the exam. The ones you know, work they are your strengths, work with them. Because even the amount of time they'll give to you, you might not still be able to cover all the whole syllabus. Don't get scared of the fact that you are scared because you have not covered the whole syllabus. Don't let it weigh you down. Those ones you know, because you are scared, it might affect you in preparing. So the ones you know, those ones you don't know, those ones you know, build competence in them. And I tell you, they'll go a long way in helping you give a good work. So just build competence. Those ones you don't know, I'm sure that at least if you must have covered more than 50% of the syllabus, you are good to go. I know many of us might not really have the time. We don't have the time to do our due diligence, but don't feel you are not don't feel you're not enough to pass your exam because you not cover the whole syllabus. So it has affected a whole lot of students. And like I share with you my own personal experience that there's no course that I cover from from the beginning to the end because I also have other things that even though I wrote my kind of exam while I was a student, I still didn't cover those syllabus. So even though you attend lectures, those ones you've attended, those ones things they've taught you, hold it with your hand, multiply those ones you have, multiply your strength because that is what you need at this point, and it will go a long way in putting in a good stand as you write your exam. So people are joining us already. Okay. Aishat Amaju from Lagos. You are welcome to Lagos. Bode Olapupo. Bode Olapupo, good afternoon. Yeah, good afternoon to you. I can see you. Adewale, I cite you as well. Just now I cite you as well. Yeah, I said, yeah, Emmanuel Oladokun, I cite you. You are welcome. Ignatius, I've cited you and I've provided I've recommended solution to your question. So Taiwo, okay, Taiwo, you are welcome. Nero, you are welcome. Well, okay, all right. So if you are joining us, you're welcome. You are here. This is Starry Gold live class for advanced audit and assurance. So let me know your fears. I would love to know your fears. I have people on board. Let's talk. What are your greatest fear? What are those things that is making you feel annoying enough? Let's talk about that. Talk to me about that and let's sort that out right away. Let's then provide you what you can do or what you can improvise to make and to work things out for yourself. So let's talk. What are those things that make you get scared, that make you feel you are not enough, and So let's move ahead. So let's now. I've been thinking out. We've done we've done one question already, and I believe we've done one or two things as regards that part. So also, if you have been asked a question, you answer. You must go through the question first. You must go through the questions and provide professional answers. Don't just answer the question anyhow. This is not, or this is advanced, or this is tax. So ensure that you give him you provide competencies in all you are doing in that line. So I believe that will be a good one for you. Now question two. Analyze and evaluate any four fundamental principles of ethical standards as provided in the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria's Code of Professional Conduct for Accountants. So, of course, you know them already, but when it's time you're told to analyze and evaluate them. So, what you need to do is that you list them out because you need it entails integrity, objectivity, confidentiality, um, independence, professional competence, and due care. So, of course, you know the entails so the entails integrity, um, objectivity, professional competence, and due care, confidentiality, and professional behavior. So as regards integrity, chartered accountants should be straightforward and honest in all their in professional. So in a professional and business relationship, so integrity implies not merely honest but fair dealings and truthfulness. So as like professional accountant, it's better to show honesty in your dealings. It's better to show that I know that you do and ensure that you were able to do that very well. Now we also looked at objectivity. We looked at if we just give a detailed explanation of it, as I just I did where I did for integrity. You picked objectivity and you explained as well. You also picked professional competence and due care, confidentiality, professional behavior, and the rest. So now B now says that you should the penalties. Outline the penalties. Outline the penalties for members unethical for a member's unethical behavior. So those are the penalties that would be that the member will face for his unethical behavior. Now, chartered accountants should comply with relevant laws and regulations and should avoid any action that discredits the profession. The member should conduct himself with courtesy and consideration towards all with whom he comes in contact with in the course of performing his work. And penalties for a member's unethical behavior would include the following: include fines. So they'll charge with fines. You all choose to pay fine. Will be to pay fines. There will be suspension from membership of the institute for the period of time. To be withdrawal. There will be withdrawal of certificates. Certificates will be withdrawn and licensed to him. He will be reprimand of activities, payment of costs associated with investigations and meetings. So and see now, those are the those of course you're going to give your part to it and so your own advantage. So I also thought to outline the powers available to the institute to enforce the ethical standard. So there are powers that are available to the institute um enforce the ethical standard and they entails the power the power of the institute. Of course, it is derived. We know it's derived from the Institute of Accountants of Nigeria Act of 1995. The power is conferred on the Accountants Disciplinary Tribunal. So those expressly does give out those powers that are available to the institute according to the bodies that it is under. So I hope you can understand that. So give that power to them and explain the reason behind that. So having looked at that, click on share to have a copy of this in your timeline. Click on share to have a copy of this on your timeline. So if you are just joining us, you are welcome to the class. Please kindly type hello in the comment box and your location so that I can acknowledge you. If you have any question, please drop them and I will review your question and I will respond to you ASAP. So, in regards to this direct exam, what are your greatest fears? If I do join us, you're welcome. But I would love to entertain your fears. What are your greatest fear with regards to this direct forthcoming direct coming exam? Let me know your fears so that I can provide up and see how I can be of help to you in that line. Okay, if you can still hear me, so let's look at another question. Question three. Ebola Sanitizer Limited. You have been appointed as the auditor of Ebola Limited for the year ended 31st December 2014. The principal activity of the company is the development, manufacture, and sale of Ebola testing equipment for healthcare sector. During the planning meeting with the company's chief finance officer, the following matters were brought to your attention. One, inventories include 1.5 million in respect of the cost of instruments made to a customer specification. The customer is based in a country which recently imposed trading sanctions against your country. The inventory includes 1.5 million in respect of the cost of instruments made to a customer specification. So, work in progress includes 2.5 million in respect of an equipment being manufactured for Hazard Care PLC. Labor has been charged at daily rates, which include direct costs and appropriate overheads. Labor has been charged at daily rates, which include direct costs and appropriate overheads. So, in October 2014, the company commenced its construction of an assembly line for its new range of testing machines. The line is due to be completed in February 2015. The costs recorded in the non-current assets register include materials, labor, overhead, and loan interest required. Prepare an auditing planning memorandum extra setting out specific audit work to be carried out in respect of the matter stated in 1 to 3 above, which is 10 marks. So required, okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So of course, you are not told to prepare based on the item listed from 1 to 3. I believe you can hear me clearly. Based on the item listed from 1 to 3, I've also setting out prepare an audit planning memorandum extra, setting out specific audit work to be carried out in respect of the matters. So the sort of audit planning memorandum as regards one, of course, the first item, you said inventories include 1.5 million in respect of the cost of instruments made to a customer specification. The customer is based in the country which recently imposed trading sanctions against your country. So what are you going to do now? What you're going to do now is that um, to confirm the trading sanctions against your country, client noting when it will be lifted. Verify your complete inventory validation report in respect of the specific inventory of 1.5 million made to customer specification. Obtain and verify customers' request for the production. Trace funds already received on the contract to the financial records and determine amount outstanding. Also, as regards item 2, that's sales work in progress includes 2.5 million in respect of an equipment. Equipment. So also you can say you verify that you compute work in progress sheet report in respect of manufacture of equipment of Hazard Care PLC, agree labor charge out rates, compute and compare apportionment of rights. Also verify cost records for non-current assets, noting valuation of materials, valuation of labor, charge out rates, of course, tell them apportionment of overhead, whether loan interest is directly related to the loan obtained for the manufacture, construction, or the assembly line only. Verify review of all loan documents, check interest computation, and compare it to what is charged to non-current assets registered. So I haven't said that. So the next part you have been asked to do is so advise on audit adjusting entries to be raised to correct any material misstatements in financial statement. So B the areas of audit adjustments. So the area of audit adjustments would include audit journal. Audit journal will be raised in respect of the inventory of the 1.5 million which belong to a customer whose country has imposed trading sanctions against our client's country. Also, another areas where audit adjustment will be needed is where no amount has been received on the contract write off the full amount already incurred against income. Also, where part payment has been made has been made write off the inventory value the inventory value of 1.5 million, but make provision um, for the amount paid. So also, if interest calculation by the firm are materially different from client calculation, the appropriate correcting journal should be raised thereafter. So click on share to have a copy of this on your timeline. Click on share to have a copy of this on your timeline. If you are just joining us, you are welcome to class. Welcome to class. Kindly type hello in the comment box so I can acknowledge you. If you have any question, kindly drop it on the comment box. In regards of this ICAN Diet exam, what are your greatest fears? What can you drop your comment now? So in line with in line with your question, let's go ahead and look at so we've done question 3 already. So we've prepared the audit planning memorandum and also setting out specific audit work. So okay, so click on share to have a copy of this on your timeline. Click on share to have a copy of this on your timeline. To have a copy of your on your timeline, kindly click on share. So if you have any question, kindly drop to the comment box. Drop a question in the comment box so I can attest to that. So in regards to this diet exam, what are your greatest fear? Kindly drop your comments now. So question 4. Um, there are occasions when company directors might want to conceal document or records. For example, if if the company is facing litigation for a considerable sum of money, they may not wish to disclose this fact in their financial statements. Since the appropriate treatment could well be recording of the liability, documents showing that the company's assets are not worth as much as they are stated in the statement of financial position may also be suppressed by the directors. It is likely, it is likely that the company directors will attempt to conceal a matter where it will have an adverse effect on the company's financial statement. So there may also be occasions when directors do not disclose matters that might improve the company's profit figure. For example, directors might be intent on income smoothing or shareholding directors in small companies might wish to minimize their profit for tax and purpose. So you can analyze three circumstances under which company directors may portray company's performance as better than it is actually is. So the company directors may wish to portray their performance in a way that is than it is actually is under the following circumstance. They may decide to do that where directors are entitled to bonus on higher profits before tax or higher turnover. So when there is a plan to sell the company or a merger is envisaged. Three, and when there is a plan to sell the company or a merger, yeah. So I've given us that already. Now the third part is where they intend to influence creditors or lenders, particularly um, where the company is seeking for facilities. So also, where retaining one or more directors is based on our performance. Okay, so and the next part is assess and advise on any two audit procedures required to deal with identifying misstatements in various account balances and other financial statement disclosures. Now, say develop audit. Okay, yeah. So as regards that part, you should know how to just give two. You can give two restricted to each one carries one mark each. So just give two audit procedures required to deal with identifying misstatements in various um account balances and other financial statements disclosures. So develop audit procedures The auditor should adopt where he has identified the risks of material misstatement in the financial statement. So where there is a when there is a risk of material misstatement, so should adopt the develop audit procedure the auditor should adopt where he has identified the risks of material misstatement in the financial statement. So the audit procedures to be adopted include the following: one, deploy experienced personnel in key areas of the client audit, e.g. so you can develop deploy the experienced personnel in key. So for instance, for a key area of the revenue, the bank balances, receivables, payables, and assets, then obtain external confirmation in respect of certain balances, that is bank, receivables, and payables, and yeah, those three are really, really essential. Also, obtain expert advice or confirmation with respect to plans and equipment. Also, carry out an analytical review of the financial performance. Also, discuss with those charged with governance, and also evaluate the internal control system of the company. Then carry out detailed substantive tests. So, like I said, so these are all these procedures that you adopt in order to mitigate what has happened already. So, like I said, you have to deploy experienced personnel in the key areas of the client audit as regards with revenue, bank balances, receivables, payables, and assets. Also, obtain external confirmation with respect to bank certain banks. You can issue bank circularization letter to banks, confirm balances of receivables and also and payables. Then I said carry out analytical review or discuss with those charged with governance, evaluate the internal control system of the company and carry out detailed substantive test. Now move to question 5. Okay, yeah, we're done with that part. Now click on share to have a copy of this on your timeline. Click on share to have a copy of this on your timeline. If you are just joining us, you are welcome to the class. Kindly type hello in the comment box and location so that I can acknowledge you. Click on share to have a copy of this on your timeline. Type hello so I can acknowledge you. And if you have any question, kindly drop it in the comment box. I will attend to it. If I can attend to it, I will definitely respond to it in the Telegram channel.